What's up, everyone? Life with a Pepperoni here, and today we're working on the bike again. We're gonna finish it off. I want to go for a ride, and it's been a while, obviously, because the bike. I decided that its looks was not worth the riding, and it was very uncomfortable, and the seat placement was just wrong. And now we pretty much got a full bike again. We finished off the sissy bar. It's just 1/2 inch cold rolled steel. Did a little bowl of noodles because I love eating. Got some lights out of Japan. Still got to get a bolt for there. That one's all in. And now we're ready for the seat because you need a seat to go places. Here's the seat. So what we're gonna do here is foam it and then put some more foam on it and then kind of cut a piece of more foam. No, I'm joking. There's going to be a couple layers of foam though, and then we're going to put a piece of vinyl on top of it and kind of just do the same shape. We're going to use our old template here, maybe make it a bit smaller just so then it stretches nicely, but that's going to be it. I've never done this before, so we're going to learn together. Please hit subscribe, and hope you guys enjoy. Warped a little bit, but I'm not going to be too worried about it. I should just take it smaller. You can see. Hit it with a hammer, got it pretty decent back, so there we go. It's too hot to... Let's put my gloves back on and go place it on. Let's be smart here. Let's take these. I'll take those off. There we go. I'm stoked. I gotta just grind the edge here a little bit. Get that. Maybe I'll do a little bead. But that is looking fantastic. So a new seat for these bikes are I don't know, $500, $600 USD. So after conversion and everything, it ends up being quite a lot. But our friend Curtis, Rafino Customs, I will be posting him right here. I went over to his place the other day and picked up some stuff. So here's some foam. It's like a 1-inch foam, I think. I don't know. He's like, this is the perfect density for a chopper. I'm like, perfect. Then he got me some 1/4-inch foam. So after we shape it all and everything, you kind of put that over to seal it. And then he got me some vinyl right here. He's like, a normal sewing machine will be able to do that. I might ask my wife to help me, but I'm definitely using her sewing machine because she has a good one. And I'm gonna try. It's my first time and we're doing something new. So let's get started with this onto here. I'm gonna cut out the shape and then go from there. I originally thought I was gonna do 2 layers of foam, but then I sat on the seat and I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad. So I think I'm gonna just do 1 layer of foam and then maybe the top I'll do 2 layer just to go up a little bit more. But really, I think 1 will be sufficient because because I just think it'll be good. Like, I sat on it and I'm like, oh, this is, since I shaped this to my butt, it's already gonna be pretty much better. So yeah, I'm excited. Oh. So what I'm gonna do here, another reason why I'm not going with 2 layers is because I didn't get enough foam. In my mind, I was like, oh, it'll be this long, and I didn't bring my template because I'm a dum-dum. And, well, it's not long enough, and I don't want to really do 2 pieces over, so I'm just going to do 1 piece, and that's what we're set with. So it's my own fault. But I also don't want to be too high, so it'll be fine. So the top piece, maybe I'll put a piece on the bottom of like the upper seat, and then I'll go over it and come down. So it comes down in a little slope. So right now, here is kind of what, let's just move this like as far as to one side as I can. This part here is actually a bit narrower. So maybe I'll take a 1/4 inch off each side of this. Because I narrowed it in the file so then it would look better. There we go. That's the end. Yeah. That'll be good. And then when we shape the corners and wrap it and stuff, I think that will be good. So we're going to go with that. We're kind of off to the side as much as we can. So So from what I can understand, this is pretty much just like doing metal. Except you have a bit more give because it stretches a little bit. So you kind of have to make a bit for that, but I don't know. We're trying. So here this is. There's a seat pan. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try cut it with my scissors. Curtis said if you can get a turkey saw, that works very well. That's what he uses, but so this is what I'm gonna use because that's what I got. So and honestly, working pretty good. So okay, so here's the foam. And I don't know what side works better, but we're gonna take this, we're gonna spray some spray adhesive on it. And then this is gonna go on like this and around there. And that's kind of gonna be our seat. It's gonna be like that. Like I said, I might like, I don't even think I'm I'm gonna curve the edges a little bit here, but I don't think I'm even gonna bother going up and over. I don't have enough material. But when that's tight, that will be sick. Yeah. I hope so. I should. And play a little bit here. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna do. And there. So we got ourselves some of the best stuff ever. It's 3M. It used to be called Super 77, but everybody's like used the Super 90 now. So it's adhesion. So you spray the one side and then spray the other side, and then you put both together once it gets tacky, and you'll get a really strong bond. So we're gonna do that right now, and then we'll take an X-Acto knife, we'll trim the sides, get the corners all kind of done, and then maybe I'll add some foam on the inside and the sides. I don't know. I'll put it on the bike, shape it a little bit, make my butt fit, and then we'll go from there. Next up, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our little X-Acto blades and we're just gonna trim around this, get it all even and stuff. And then we're gonna go from there. I think I have one new one left. Yep, look at that. Look at that. I remember Jono, when he built his King Queen, he did it out of fiberglass. And then he literally took my steel one and made a mold out of, used mine. How I'm thinking of doing this is I'm gonna just pattern out this top piece, then I'm gonna pattern out a side, and then a side, and then I'm going to do that. I'm gonna take the sander, take a little bit of the corners out, kind of even this out here, there, and then I think this is it. I mean, maybe a seat isn't so complicated. I don't know. Oh, the big secret about motorcycle seats. Well, I don't know if it's a secret, but it's one that separates Curtis and his seats from everywhere else. And I've ridden his seats from here to California, Vancouver to Arizona. I've put almost 30,000 kilometers on my bike. And it was like a 3-year period. It was a lot of riding and my butt never hurt. I was always able to ride the next day. Obviously you can do that, but I wanted to. So here's foam that you can get from him. I don't know where he gets it from, nor do I care. I just say, gel, but it's like a gel pad. So I'm gonna kind of mark out on the seat where I want the gel pad, and I'm going to cut this and I'm gonna insert it in here about 1/2 inch down. And then I'm gonna take the 1/4 inch foam and do around the whole thing. And then once that's done and tight, then I'm gonna kind of pattern it for the vinyl and then go from there. So yeah, this is the lifesaver. So here's the little cutout for the gel. So that kind of fits in there like that. I got to do a bit here. I think I'm just going to cut around here rather than go more, but well, maybe not even. I think on the bit of the front I got to do, but yeah, that looks good. So then once that's done, I'm going to put a piece of the 1/4 inch around the entire thing, and we'll have a seat. Okay, so that's all in there. You can see it's pretty well flush. So now I'm just going to take this 1/4 inch stuff and I'm going to just glue the back side of this, glue all this, and I'm going to wrap it over and then cut it at the seam there. And then we will be ready to start to make a pattern for our upholstery. So there's a 1/4" foam all over it. And now we can take a pattern from this and make the actual pattern for the vinyl. It's right here. So my take on this is I'm going to do it exactly like I would do steel. So I'm just going to do a top piece like this. And then I'll do a piece that goes around like this. And a piece that goes around like this. And then I'll probably do a bottom one too. Or maybe, no, I'll just do this one long and then I'll just wrap it around and put it on the bottom. So this is going to be our seat. And that's what we're going to do. Kind of see the profile now. Nice. Nice profile there. That looks good. That's pretty level. Once that's black, that'll be good. Kind of looks a bit awkward here, but maybe my butt's an awkward butt. So here I am just patterning out the pieces for the side of the actual seat. So now I'm just getting it ready. So here's the actual base that I based the seat off of. And so I'm just going over that, gonna make a side profile of that, and then that is gonna be the new top of the actual upholstery for the seat. So you'll see in a bit I'm gonna make it a bit smaller, and then that'll kind of allow for some stretch and stuff for the actual seat. And I just kind of run it through and kind of see what kind of fits the best. As you guys can see, it's all trial and error. I've never done this stuff before, so I'm just trying what I think will work. And it's kind of complicated because you kind of have to, where it goes down on the bottom there where I was just sharpieing, that's a pretty like complex curve, I guess you can call it. So you kind of got to really see how the material is going to stretch around there. I kind of suffered around it. Mine looks okay, but it's not the best. But I think the next seat that I make, I might even redo this one. I've learned a lot of things. So sorry I didn't take any video of this stuff. Like I said, I was just in my own little world, but here's the pieces. I just marked out the pattern onto the actual material itself, and then I cut it out with my scissors. Here's the front side. Then I thought it was kind of boring, so I decided to kind of mark it out, as you can see, with a bunch of cross hatches. I then went to sew it all, realized that the chalk wasn't chalk, started putting it all together with a bunch of clips, and then I had a pretty good rough on the actual seat itself. Then I continued to sew it together, and then I glued it all up, and now we have the seat. So there it is. There's the seat. It just flips up so you can access everything underneath. And I figured it would be solid enough if it just sits there. I don't know, we'll see. It's not gonna be moving while you're not on it, so I definitely learned a lot of things doing this seat, how to lay out. It's for the most part the same as metal. I messaged Lee from LG Customs. I was like, is upholstery similar to metal? And he's like, it's exact same. So I gave all the theory that I gave into leading up to this actually worked out well. I just have to be a bit more precise, and like there's a couple places where you kind of have to stretch the material, like here and here. You can kind of see how it's like. So that's just learning. That's just learning experience. I would say that's where that is. And like here, I had to go back and like stitch over that and stuff. But like this side's really nice, and then I screw up there. The other side's the opposite. But I'm super happy having only sewn like this kind of stuff, not very often at all. Doing a shirt and stuff or pants is way easier than doing all these complex curves and angles and stuff. So the principles have helped me lots, learning metal shaping and stuff, but the experience hasn't. So I'm happy with this for now. I can always make another one. I have the patterns. I just have to tighten them up a little bit, given seam allowance and stuff. But for a seat that I'm just going to enjoy and ride and stuff, I'm super stoked about. It's comfortable. It's nice. It's what I want it to be. So yeah. Yeah. This front tire, it's actually a Shinko. No one had a Speedmaster in, so this is a Shinko E270. And it looks really old, looks really good, so yeah. So there we have it. That was a long process. I just like, the sewing part was, I didn't want to ruin my wife's sewing machine, so lots of patience. And yeah. There's the seat. It's easy enough to do with very simple tools, with zero tools, just a sewing machine. But yeah, right on. There it is. Hope you guys like it. Click like and subscribe, and see you guys later.